So welcome back. So always check your announcement, right? And then these are the 3 websites I was referring to. And then what's important today is this one. So I added more materials for EA costume, bibliography, and resources chapter. You can download these. These are in, in Chinese languages and Korean languages. But if you want to be a costume designer later on, and like any other art majors, we are very visual people, right? So if you want to have that images in these books, it's great resource. They are big, like more than 2 megabytes. But if I were you, I'm going to download them and then save in the folder. Okay. And then, so this is my essays. So that's new page that I created. I've written like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 related to dress history. I'm writing more. And then I didn't put my, I have more. So I have the controversial, that's more like a modern dresses, but I have a controversial issues on miniskirt controversy, unisex fashion in Korea. So I will upload those materials as well. So you can download my essays. So the title is here, and then the file is available. And then if you click on the table of contents, you can see the content of this book. So there are more essays. If you reach out to me and request that specific chapter, I'm also willing to share it with you. It's quicker. I have all the chapters. And this is a current book that I am working on. So this book, if this book is available, my plan is I can use it for classes like this. And then, so today, I want you to think about the methodologies of dress history, why we need a dress history. And these are very useful books, Fashion History, A Global View. And then the second one is, remember Professor Yuni Kawamura's book? It's available here. So you can download both of them and save in your folder. And this is what I introduced to you last time. And then the professor at Parsons, right? The sort of well-known figure is Hazel Clark. So she wrote a book called Cheongsam. It's a short book. You can still buy it on the Amazon. It's like less than $20. So Hazel Clark, Cheongsam. And then if you are thinking of a textbook, then you can consider Mei Hua's Chinese Clothing. Most people bought this book. It's one simple book. You can read cover to cover pretty quickly. But both of them are about Chinese dresses. For Korean dress, there is a book by Sunny Yang, like a hanbok. And then kimono, there are a lot of books. Kimono, in fact, you can go to Victoria and Albert Museum and then read many chapters on kimono. So eventually, we will repeat these resources as well. Okay. But while I'm taking attendance, please download these very useful materials onto your computer. And then, yeah, here, do you see live lecture recording?
Yes.
So that is from last week. Well, I didn't put how long that is. I usually even put the hours. So we are still doing Unit 1. It's the second week of Unit 1. So in that particular area, I'm going to add one more. So that's like a techniques and materials page. And the readings Unit 1, if you open it, there is Volmer and Youngsuk Kim. So these are the useful PDF that you can read more about the traditional materials of garments. So I, urge you to read. It's right there. And then, how do I go back? Here, introduction. No, Unit 1. Okay. I have to go out of it. Hold on, let me go in again. So, Unit 1. So if you go in, the readings are here, right? And then these are all PowerPoints. Do you see these?
Let me see if I see them on mine.
Yeah, you can always open Blackboard on a separate tab. That's what
Yeah,
I am.
that's what I'm on Blackboard right now.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, well, yes, I do see it. Okay.
And then the chronology is important, so you can print this out and put it on the wall and memorize a little bit. And then this is helpful. It's how to read Chinese languages. Long time ago, I even practiced how to read all those names, but uh, well, my students didn't like it so much. So you can practice on your own. So these are like a basic guidelines. Like if you have an X, it's more like a sh sound, or if you have a Q, that's actually not the k sound. It's more like a ching sound. So that depends on the Mandarin Chinese romanization. So you have two PowerPoints and you have two doc files. So all four of them are part of Unit 1. Okay, and then today we are going to study this Chinese calendar and 5 major colors. So what I wanted you to explore in that shopping website for ethnic dresses, traditional dresses of China, Korea, Japan is you probably picked your own choice, right? But then in reality, you have to consider your social status and your marital status. Long time ago, there are only two conditions. You're either married or you are single. There is nothing in between. It's a traditional society. So clothes, colors were symbols or signs that show you are social beings. And then, well, there is another condition, and you can be either widow or widower, right? Married and then spouse died. Then your color changes. Or legally, was there a legal divorce? There are historical records of showing people who ended the first marriage with various reasons, and then remarried. We have those conditions. But again, you know, your marital status doesn't change, right? You will continuously remain as a married woman. So it's either you are young and single, or after a certain age, let's say 17, 18, you are married, and different color choices. And then, so there are 5 major colors we're going to study. And then it also has these 5 elements of, can I say, like sort of a physiognomy or people's tendency, the theory of 5 elements. So you can look for it. So if somebody really lacks metal condition in your own, let's say, life, then by wearing the color of metal, sort of a boost the composition. So the good thing, like the harmonious thing, is you need all 5 elements in a balanced way. Maybe you have a little bit more water than metal, right? Like, but then you have all 5. But if you are significantly low in one of these components, then you want to boost it with color choices. So if you cannot do it with clothing, then you can carry some accessories, right? Or you can supplement it with, not an accessory, like a jewelry, like a gemstones or something. Or they are not visible, but you can carry, let's say, a vermilion color rock inside your pocket. So you don't have to embarrass yourself by by wearing red, but you will have something in your pocket. Those kind of things. And then we are going to study those. So usually, so this is my explanation of each unit. So there are usually it goes all the way on the top, and it's available afterwards, right? After today's class. And then reading units are the second, and then you have lecture, PowerPoints, and documents, and then some other helpful tips. So now going to hold on. What happened here? You don't see the page of introduction. Do you see what I am seeing here?
You just see your Blackboard. You on the Blackboard.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Did somebody raise a hand?
I did.
Okay, Nancy.
So yeah, I have a question. The other thing we said, if you're deficient in something, then you wear the color. That chart, like, how would you know if you're deficient in fire or earth? Like,
So based on your birthday, people like a birth year, birthday, and then birth time, there is a booklet, like a called the I Ching, sort of a fortune book, and then the reader can tell you that, you know, because you were born a certain time, certain day, certain year, that particular moment in cosmos, right? The people came up with, say you have a 10% of wood and you have a 30% of fire and 20% of earth. Do you see what I'm saying? Like and so forth. And just like our nutritional table, you want to have all five. But because of that particular time and day, right? You have like a 50% of fire. That means you are a little, as you can see, the climate and so forth. You are easily irritated, right? You don't want that, right? You want to complement that, so that you may wear something to tone down that redness or that like a yang. Do you see the yang face? You know, like that full yang, like a spirit. So Nancy, I'm going to talk more about that aspect later on.
okay.
Any other question? Who raised the hands?
Oh, that was me.
Rachel.
I just have a question. For the royal family, is it different? Like balancing
Yes.
or okay.
Yeah, you have a very good question. So it's also human beings, right? Like ubiquitous among human beings, but you also have your social class. So let's say you were born in a military families, like a lineage, right? You were born to, like, your parents and like a father, usually not the women, your mother, your father and grandfather, they were all like a military officers, but like you somehow had a lot of, so they probably had fire and metal kind of thing. But then you are the person who has a lot of water. So water is good to flow and so forth, but you probably lack the spirit of fire and metal. Then family want you to continue to the career in the military service, then you may boost up like a metal or fire. So royal family too, it is you don't publicly discuss on emperor's condition, but emperor, just like any military officer, their costumes are set, right? Like usually in China, what is the color for emperors? Golden yellow, right? Or purple. So these are already predetermined for their social class and their position. So if he needs a lot of, for example, a lot of metal kind of condition, then emperor may carry some sort of really auspicious gemstone that represent metalness. Yeah, so the theory of 5 elements of Chinese philosophy applies to anybody, regardless of their social rank.